People with dyslexia, Asperger's, ADHD, and other learning disabilities have superpowers that hold immense potential. But for most, their powers remain dormant and unrealized, preventing them from unlocking their true potential and achieving the success they deserve. Imagine this. Instead of the baby Superman being found and raised by the Kent family, he was found by gentle and loving kryptonite miners. They raised him with love and, out of love, adorned him with kryptonite jewelry. Unaware of its effects, he wears it forever, carrying on the family legacy. But of course, never becoming Superman, his superpowers crushed. A lot like the superpowers of dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, ADHD, and even Asperger's syndrome get crushed by well-meaning words and actions. Each of these is a learning challenge, but each comes with superpowers. Superpowers that are easily extinguished, their fires dampened by well-meaning but misinformed parents or teachers. Imagine a world where Elon Musk did not find his engineering superpower. We'd never see self-driving electric cars in our lifetime. What if Agatha Christie did not overcome her writing disability? Well, no murder on the Orient Express. What if Sir Richard Branson did not find his superpower? No virgin anything. How about Albert Einstein, Winston Churchill, Carl Jung, Thomas Edison, Cher, Henry Winkler, Jay Leno, or Tom Cruise? Would the world be different if these people had not found their gifts, but instead succumbed to their learning disabilities? Simple misunderstandings alter the life path of a struggling learner, not only extinguishing their gifts, but also feeding the demons of low self-worth and depression. Fortunately, with a little knowledge, we have the power to change that. Armed with knowledge, it's easy. We can help them flourish and, at the same time, dispel the shadows of self-doubt and depression that are all so common. Let's discuss how 3 very successful and famous people did just that. Each had their own unique learning struggle, but each reached a pinnacle of success because they had the right support. As I tell the story, try to guess who each is. If I told you up front, you would recognize them, but hearing their story first might give you a unique perspective and insight. Each is so successful you may be surprised by their struggles. While the gifts that accompany learning struggles are diverse, and the struggles are different, there's one common superpower that all successful individuals with learning disabilities possess. This true superpower, often overlooked, is the key to their achievements. By understanding and harnessing this power, we can illuminate the path to their success. See if you can figure out what it is as we go through the stories. We'll reveal it after you understand the unique journeys of each of our 3 heroes. We'll contrast each with what could have happened. Let's start. Let's consider 2 young boys who struggled terribly. Boy A and Boy B. Both having a very similar struggle and very similar gifts. Boy A's journey begins in school, where he faces challenges, particularly in reading and writing. However, his mother, a key figure in his life, has high expectations for him. She pushes him to overcome these challenges, but also encourages him to focus on his strengths. She instills in him a love for adventure and a fascination with the world around him, often telling him to reach for the stars. As a young boy with the support of a mother who recognizes his potential, he develops his superpowers. He spends time in nature, which develops neuroplasticity. His mother pushes him beyond his perceived limits, developing confidence. She leads by example, teaching him emotional intelligence and developing his strong spirit. She recognizes his big picture thinking and spatial reasoning skills, which help him solve problems in innovative ways. She pushes him to challenge these skills and find opportunities to grow. And again, leading by example, she starts a small business to help support the family. As he enters his teenage years, Boy A's entrepreneurial spirit begins to emerge. He starts his own small businesses, such as selling Christmas trees and greeting budgerigars. His dyslexia presents challenges, but his confidence allows him to identify opportunities and take calculated risks. He learns to embrace the challenges brought on by his dyslexia, building the resilience that leads to his eventual success. Boy B, on the other hand, grows up in an environment that focuses solely on his weaknesses and fails to recognize his gifts. He struggles through school, constantly feeling inadequate and misunderstood. Those around him think of him as lazy, so he is given more homework. Just work harder, they say. But he is working as hard as he can. He just doesn't get it. Because academics are so challenging for him, he begins to see himself as stupid. The world seems to reflect that back to him. Everything he sees and hears feels like criticism and judgment, and his self-esteem plummets. His potential remains untapped. His big picture thinking is dismissed as daydreaming, and his spatial reasoning and problem-solving skills are overlooked. He has to spend so much time on homework that he has no time to develop his true gifts. And because he feels different, he never has a chance to develop emotional intelligence. He has no friends to develop it with. As boy A enters adulthood, he continues to pursue his entrepreneurial dreams. He starts a small record business, quickly growing it into a successful venture. He then expands into other areas such as travel and transportation, applying his problem-solving skills and empathy to create companies that prioritize customer experience and social responsibility. His persistence pays off. His entrepreneurial efforts succeed. This he attributes to his mother, who...
You and Dad taught me and my sisters independence and loved us with fierceness and tenderness.
Is it obvious that boy A's mother helped him develop a growth mindset? Pushing him hard, but then focusing on his effort to overcome each challenge. A growth mindset is one of the secrets to his success. It's a powerful way of thinking. Teaching a child a growth mindset is simple if you know how. And it's so important that everyone should have the skills to do it. That's why we created a free course on it. Just click the link in the description to get it. Boy A also said this about his mother.
You always pushed us to our limits. When I was a child, you threw me out of the car miles from our house and urged me to find my own way home. You let me jump into a river to sink or swim.
He attributes much of who he is to her. She inspired his dreams of making a difference, and she pushed him to develop courage and resilience. He says of his mother,
Before the word existed, you were always an entrepreneur. You helped make ends meet by creating your own small businesses. You showed me how to grow a company, how to treat people, how to be creative, how to balance work and play, how to live.
Her lessons on emotional intelligence and ability to connect with others proved invaluable throughout his journey. He built strong teams and partnerships, inspiring others with vision and leadership. Later, he became a vocal advocate for individuals with dyslexia, sharing his story and encouraging others to embrace their unique strengths. He has inspired hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. How about boy B? Well, things aren't so great. Boy B's spirit is stifled by fear of failure and the lack of confidence in his abilities. He settles for a life of unfulfilling jobs and unrealized dreams, never knowing where he could have gone. He doubts his abilities and potential, and sadly, that doubt slowly and painfully kills his potential, like a parasite, insidiously draining the life force from its host. However, boy A rockets to incredible success. Reflecting on his mother's influence, he writes,
You showed us the value of kindness, the magic of laughter, the beauty of music, and the joy of family. You were always my guiding light at Virgin Galactic.
Boy B, trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and underachievement, begins to experience mental health issues. He struggles with depression and anxiety, feeling increasingly isolated and disconnected from the world around him. His gifts, which could have been harnessed to impact the world positively remain dormant, slowly eroding under the weight of their unrecognized potential. In the end, boy A becomes a renowned entrepreneur and philanthropist. His gifts nurtured and developed through his mother's unwavering support and love.
You were always a dreamer. You urged me to strive for every opportunity I saw. You told me to chase my wildest fantasies and to live life to the full.
He writes, "Well, the brave may not live forever, but the cautious do not live at all. How you lived, how you loved, and how you are missed." His hard work, determination, and gifts of big-picture thinking, spatial reasoning, problem-solving, empathy, emotional intelligence, and entrepreneurial skills helped him build a global empire that includes the Virgin Group, comprising over 400 companies. He has used his success to positively impact the world, championing causes such as sustainability, space exploration, and support for individuals with dyslexia. Yes, his gifts came along with dyslexia. Have you guessed who he is? Boy A is Sir Richard Branson, the visionary entrepreneur knighted by Queen Elizabeth II herself. Person B? Well, we'll never know. He just faded away. Sir Richard Branson certainly has many gifts, which he developed into solid skills. But the most important we have yet to talk about. It is the biggest strength behind all entrepreneurs, which we are going to see exhibited in this next superhuman who worked his way through another type of learning disability. See if you can tell what it is. Again, let's consider two boys, but these two are different in a different way. Both are socially awkward and seem a bit different than most boys. They struggle to make friends and often find themselves on the outskirts of social circles. But both are curious and inquisitive. They are fascinated by science and technology and always try to figure out how things work. They both have a natural, intense focus which allows them to dive deep into subjects and learn them quickly. And they both exhibit an unusual level of honesty paired with a strong sense of justice. The first boy's gifts are recognized by his parents and teachers. They provide him with opportunities to develop his superpowers. Given a computer at a young age, he develops a computer game and begins selling it. He begins reading philosophy at a young age, a strange pursuit for such a young man, but it is encouraged. Philosophy teaches him to think in first principles and to challenge established norms. This leads him to seek alternative ways of doing things. He constantly challenges the status quo. The second boy grows up in an environment that fails to recognize his gifts. They only see his strangeness, his eccentricities dismissed as weird and annoying, constantly misunderstood. His gifts become burdens. The first boy progresses through his education. His exceptional memory and intense focus allow him to excel in his studies, particularly in science and technology. His fascination with computers and programming continues, spending countless hours honing his programming skills. His logical thinking and attention to detail make him a natural problem solver who can easily tackle complex challenges. For the second boy, his exceptional memory and intense focus become sources of anxiety and distress. He gets lost in activities, but this is seen as an eccentricity rather than a skill. He struggles to find ways to apply his logical thinking and attention to detail because his world values conformity over individuality. His honesty and directness are misinterpreted as rudeness, leading to social isolation and further damaging his self-esteem. The first boy's unique perspective and creativity lead him to dream of a future filled with innovation and possibility. He becomes increasingly interested in the potential of sustainable energy and space exploration, seeing these as key to humanity's future. His honesty and directness, tempered with a growing understanding of social dynamics, help him build a network of like-minded individuals who share his vision. Both boys started off with the same gifts: exceptional memory, intense focus, honesty, logical thinking, attention to detail, unique perspective, and creativity. All gifts that often come with Asperger's syndrome, a condition that can enhance specific cognitive abilities while also presenting social and communication challenges. But with these gifts also comes social awkwardness. Their extremes are outside of social norms, which often isolates them and brands them as a bit off. Their abilities dismissed as eccentricities, as happened to the second boy. The first boy applies his gifts to entrepreneurial pursuits. He co-founds a company that revolutionizes online payment systems, demonstrating his ability to identify and capitalize on emerging opportunities. He then turns his attention to the automotive industry, determined to create electric vehicles that are both environmentally friendly and aesthetically appealing. His intense focus and drive allow him to overcome numerous obstacles and setbacks, ultimately creating a groundbreaking car company. Not content with conquering the automotive industry, he sets his sights on space. He envisions a future where humans can live and work on other planets, and he pours his energy and resources into developing the technologies needed to make this a reality. He teaches himself rocket science and uses this knowledge to guide his company in developing satellite systems and reusable rockets. He is, of course, Elon Musk. Who is person B? Unfortunately, the countless people with Asperger's who were never able to develop their true gifts and never unleashed their true potential. Sadly, the fate of many. But what was that one overpowering skill that drove both Sir Richard Branson and Elon Musk to their entrepreneurial greatness? And more importantly, how is it developed? Well, I'll get to that soon because it is also one of the greatest strengths of our next character, a little girl who became a role model to many, not by being an Instagram influencer, but by playing up her intelligence. Every individual is born unique, each with a treasure trove of potential. Yet, there are certain gifts that often go unnoticed, especially when they are possessed by a young girl. These gifts, such as creativity, spontaneity, adaptability, hyperfocus, energy, enthusiasm, risk-taking, entrepreneurship, multitasking, empathy, and emotional intelligence, are like hidden gems waiting to be discovered and polished. Seen one way, they are a disability. But with a bit of magic, they conjure a life filled with purpose and success. In many girls, these gifts go unnoticed. They're hidden away. But not this young girl. She would not let her gifts be overshadowed by her challenges. She would rise like a phoenix from the ashes to become a master of her craft. Most girls with these gifts go unnoticed because their naturally expressed talents don't fit social norms, so they hide them to fit in. They become wallflowers or teachers' pets to cover up their true selves. They remain in the shadows, their enchantments slowly fading away like a forgotten incantation. So, let us embark on this enchanting tale of two girls with similar talents but different stories. A story of two souls, two paths, and the magic that resides within them waiting to be unleashed upon the world. Girl A, a bright young enchantress, grows up in an environment that recognizes and nurtures her unique abilities. Despite her challenges with attention and hyperactivity, her champions focus on her strengths. She is encouraged to pursue her passions, particularly in the arts. As she progresses through her magical education, her creativity and enthusiasm shine through. She develops a love for acting and storytelling, often immersing herself in imaginative play and captivating her audiences with performances. Her spontaneity and adaptability allow her to thrive on stage. With the guidance of supportive teachers and coaches, she learns to harness her hyperfocus and channel her energy into her craft. She develops a strong work ethic and a commitment to excellence, consistently pushing herself to grow and improve. Her risk-taking leads her to take on challenging roles, and her grit and spirit protect her like a Patronus charm. On the other hand, Girl B is told to be calmer and less expressive. She's told to just fit in, so she becomes a wallflower. She struggles in school, but nobody notices. She hides her problems well, but all the while, she internalizes the negative messages about her worth and potential. Her gifts remain untapped. Her creativity is dismissed as frivolous, and her spontaneity and adaptability are seen as signs of flightiness and unreliability. Her tendency to hyper-focus on one thing is misinterpreted as a lack of focus, the exact opposite of what it is. Why doesn't she work on her schoolwork instead, she's told. Eventually, she is paralyzed by the fear of failure and rejection. She grapples to find a sense of purpose or direction. When she matures, she jumps from one unfulfilling relationship to another. Holding down a job seems insurmountable. Her inner turmoil affects her relationships and career, or lack of them. But as our young, up-and-coming actress, Girl A, steps into adulthood, her gifts continue to thrive. She becomes renowned for her ability to balance demanding acting roles with her studies and philanthropic endeavors. Her empathy and emotional intelligence make her a beloved figure among fans and colleagues, as she consistently uses her platform to inspire and uplift others. Throughout her journey, she remains committed to personal growth and self-improvement. Just as her character fought for the rights of house elves and other marginalized magical creatures, she became a vocal advocate for mental health awareness and support, drawing on her own experiences with ADHD to help others feel seen and understood. Yes, these gifts are all qualities of ADHD. Harnessed well, they are superpowers. Left to run amok, they create chaos. Our young heroine harnessed her gifts and developed them to benefit her and others, becoming a renowned actress, activist, and role model. She, like her character, Hermione Granger, became the hero for intelligent and energetic young girls. Her gifts, nurtured and developed through hard work and determination, have allowed her to achieve great success in her acting career while also significantly impacting education, women's rights, and sustainable fashion. She continues to inspire millions around the world with her talent, compassion, and commitment to positive change, embodying the values of the magical world she brought to life on screen. Have you guessed who our little enchantress is? Of course, I'm speaking of Emma Watson. And our person B? Her spells lie dormant, hidden away in the Chamber of Secrets. Her magic never fully awakened. The sad fate of so many young girls whose learning struggles go unnoticed. Each of our heroes, Sir Richard Branson, Elon Musk, and Emma Watson, have their own unique gifts, but those gifts and ultimately their individual success were driven forward by the same quality. That one quality that is the most important of all, the quality seen in our three examples and also in every successful entrepreneur, artist, musician, comedian, athlete, scientist, and leader. What is it? Well, first, let me tell you how it is developed. It blooms naturally from developing confidence, passion, and growth mindset, and focus, all of which are skills you can learn how to develop by watching these videos right here. What is it called? Well, some people call it resilience, some call it mental fortitude, some call it anti-fragile. We just call it grit.